Walk down any supermarket aisle and something is promising to boost your brain all the time. A berry, a box of powder, a bottle of fish oil. I'm Dr. Arif Khan, Consultant Neurologist, and I want to save you a lot of money and a lot of confusion. The honest truth is that there is no single superfood for your brain and no supplement that reliably works. So let's start with the principle because it unlocks everything else. Your brain is about 2% of your body weight, but it uses around 20% of your blood flow and oxygen. It is the hungriest organ you have and it depends completely on a rich, steady blood supply to feed it. So anything damages your blood vessels, that stiffens or narrows or clogs those arteries, quietly starves the brain over the years. And that gives us the single most reliable idea in all of brain nutrition. And it is refreshingly boring. What is good for your heart is good for your brain, and that's the principle. This is why chasing individual miracle foods misses the point. Your brain's protection comes from the whole pattern of how you eat, the kind that keeps blood vessels healthy. Hold on to that because every real recommendation flows from it and every myth ignores it. So what does that pattern look like? The best evidence in the field points to two closely related ways of eating: the Mediterranean diet and a version tuned for the brain called the MIND diet. MIND. Strip away the names and the same foods keep appearing. In large observational studies that have been carried out, older adults who eat this way tend to show slower memory decline, and the likely reason is exactly what we just covered. These foods support healthy blood vessels and lower inflammation. Quick pause before we start saving your money. If a neurologist cutting through the noise is useful, subscribe because the wellness industry spends a fortune making sure you never hear this part. The myths. Now, myth number one is brain supplements. The most famous is Ginkgo Biloba. It was tested in the largest trial of its kind, more than 3,000 older adults over a 6-year period, and it did not lower dementia at all. The most brain-boosting pills have no solid evidence behind them, and Harvard's own health experts flatly say to not buy them at all. Now, the myth number two is even more significant. Fish oil capsule. This one is sneaky because eating fish really does look good for the brain. But when the pills are tested in trials, including some large ones, they did nothing for memory or brain shrinkage. The food helps, of course. The capsules, they do not replicate it. Now, myth number three is the single superfood, blueberries. And blueberries are wonderful. They're not a cure, and no one single ingredient carries your brain. Myth number four, and I hear this constantly: sugar rots your brain, and you hear this everywhere. This is too simple. One dessert does not rot anything, but chronically high blood sugar damages the very vessels that feed your brain, which loops straight back to our principle. And finally, myth number five: coconut oil and detox teas. No good brain evidence at all, and your liver and kidneys already do your detoxing for free. Now, be honest in the comments. Tell me how many of those that you've just gone through had you believing them or you spend money on. I believed a couple myself before the trials came in. Here is the good news, and it costs nothing extra. You do not need a special brain diet, a cupboard of supplements, or a single perfect week. You just lean in the right direction, most of the time that is, and leafy greens, add them to your meals. Keep berries in the freezer and add them to your breakfast. If you eat fish, aim for it a couple of times a week. Snack on a handful of nuts now and then. Cook with olive oil, choose whole grains where you can, that is. Notice the theme. Every one of these adds something. Nothing here asks you to give food up or count anything. And because it is the same pattern that protects your heart, you get your heart and your brain from one good habit, not two separate projects. You're doing one thing that pays off everywhere in your body at once. And that helps to sustain it for longer. So the whole video, I would put it into just 3 lines. There is no magic food and no magic pill. The pattern matters more than a single ingredient. And what is good for your heart is good for your brain. And if you take one action from this, make it the simplest one. Put more green vegetables and more berries on your plate this week and keep your money in your pocket at the supplement aisle. This is a long game. The payoff arrives decades from now in the quality of the mind you get to keep. And tell me in the comments which myth you're letting go of, and if a doctor cutting through the hype was useful, then subscribe. Next time, we are looking at the one habit with even stronger evidence than food for protecting your brain. It is how you move. Until next time, bye-bye.